Hi, welcome to Diamond Custom Paint Shop. I got a really exciting video I'm going to be doing now. It's called 3D Flames. I've been wanting to do this project for a couple of years now. Finally got around to it. I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. I'm going to do some 3D flames, and when I say that, what I mean is I got my gas tank here. I got my flames laid out, and now I'm not going to paint the flames on just yet, but I'm going to use this 1/8 inch solid rod to bend into the flame shape and braze it down, weld whatever I need to do to tack it down on top of this tank. And then I'm going to be doing a killer custom paint job on it after that. So I'm really excited to do this. Like I said, been wanting to do this for a long time. So I finally just went ahead. I just picked this tank up on eBay for like 55 bucks, something like that. These are really good to do some practice painting and stuff on. So we're going to try it out on this, and then if this works out good, I'm going to try to do it on a full motorcycle with fenders and everything. So I think it will. I've never really done anything kind of like this before. I've done some metal work before, dished a lot of tanks, stuff like that. But when I was building my CB550, I kind of totally redid the whole back swing arm where I was fabbing up, pieces of tubing and stuff. And I kind of got the idea back then, if it'd be cool to, I wanted to do it on one of the side pieces I did, the triangle side pieces, do a designer, but I was just going to do like a flat with a piece of flat steel, but just so it was raised. And I still have a couple ideas I'm going to do of that in the future. I want to try out doing some raised kind of flat panels tacked down and then painted with some, custom paint job on it. All right, so like I said, we got our tank. I just got this from Home Depot, picked me up some 1/8 inch, steel rod. I think these were $4 a piece for a 48 inch piece. So I think I got like 6 pieces, and hopefully that'll be enough to do this. I have a bender that I picked up from Harbor Freight a while back. We're going to be trying to utilize that. I had to, for kind of these bigger radiuses, I'm using a piece of tape roll in there. We'll see how that works out. And I'll kind of video all this as much as I can as I get going. So yeah, we're going to use that. We're probably going to use some heat if we need to, just some MAP gas to kind of heat this up if we have to kind of get some bends easier. But I don't know, this stuff is pretty thin and easy. I don't think so. I think I'll be able to get most of these bends I want to do, in my roller or by hand. So, and then we're just going to, like I said, we'll try to braze down the design once we get them going, and then we'll obviously, when we have pieces meet up, we'll tack those up or braze them up. I plan on brazing them. I got a welder here, so if we need to tack them down, I kind of want to keep, I'm thinking of doing the brazing so I can keep that, where I do it on the inside edge there, it doesn't build up, and I don't have to do a whole lot of work grinding it down. With brazing, typically you can get it to soak down into the seam and hold pretty good. It doesn't need to be very strong. It's just going to sit on the top of the tank. So yeah, so we'll get started. I'll kind of reset up, and we'll start trying to bend this first piece around, as you can see there, the flame. We're going to try to get this curve right here coming down. That's the first one we're going to do. So we'll be right back. We'll get set up on the bender and see you in a second. Okay, here's my bender. As you can see, let me kind of take it apart here. So comes with one of the 3-inch dolly kind of roller there that you typically would just put in there. But looking at the top of my tank, that radius needs to be bigger than this. So I was just kind of looking around, and this actually fits in there perfectly inside of this roll of tape. So we'll slide that in, and then we'll put this in here. And then that should, it's pretty strong still, and this is pretty wimpy stuff at 1/8 inch, so I think we should be pretty good at trying to bend it. Okay, I marked a halfway mark spot on here, so we're going to kind of judge where it's going to start bending our bend. We'll kind of use that just so we try to keep equal lengths on both sides to finish that flame wick. if we can. So let's see here. Yeah, that one should be good. And then we got our stop here. Due to time constraints, I'm going to fast forward a lot of this video. A lot of these videos I did were in excess of an hour, so we're going to fast forward through a lot of it, but you'll get to see a lot of the process here as we go through. As you can see, I'll put a Sharpie mark on the rod and on the tank there, kind of so I can realign it every time and don't lose my bearings as I get bending this. I can set it back on the tank in the same exact spot and then continue on with the bend. One of the hardest parts of this process was not only do I have to do the flame licks, but then I have the curve of the tank I have to try to match as I'm kind of coming down the tank there. So it's a little bit challenging, but it just takes a little time, little tweaks here and there, and you can see I put it on there quite a bit to kind of keep readjusting, keep checking it and checking it, taking it off, bending it, and then put it back on and checking it. So okay, here I'm going to try to do my brazing on this. I switched to just tacking it down because I can't generate enough heat with this setup I have here with the MAP gas. It just keeps dissipating into the tank too much, so I decided I'd just tack it down and then deal with grinding off down the little tack welds I do in the end here, which wasn't too difficult as I found. Okay, here I was using a little grinder just to see how hard it was going to be to grind these welds down. So I ended up using this and a Dremel with the flat disc on it to kind of grind it back into the groove a little bit. So this process, it wasn't that difficult in the end. Probably took an hour at the most to do the whole tank. after I got done grinding down all the tack welds, I used some JB weld stick, and just use that with the rubber glove and kind of just smooth it into the around the all those outside areas where the tack welds are at. Smooth it into the crack there and smooth it out. And then most of it came out pretty smooth, as much as I wanted, but where it didn't, I just kind of, you know, took some sandpaper and sanded it smooth. And also used a Dremel to help smooth it out. Okay, we got everything cleaned up on this tank. So now we're gonna spray some epoxy primer on here, sealer. Some Limeline epoxy primer sealer. I'm gonna mix it as a sealer, so that just means adding some reducer to it. So we'll get to that. Get some on here, we'll cut away, and I'll be right back, and we'll be spraying it on the tank. And then here now I'm just aiming into all the cracks there with the epoxy primer, making sure I get, you know, good coverage in all those areas where the rod meets the tank. Okay, now I'm just using some U-Pole Bondo to, and I'll just use my finger to just rub it around the outside edge of the flame licks to smooth it out. And then after we do it, we'll get it as smooth as we can with the glove in the finger, and then I'll go ahead and, you know, get it really good with the sandpaper after. Okay, now we're going to use some Limeline high build primer. I did 2 coats of this primer. Okay, now we're going to apply a couple of coats of Limeline black base coat. Okay, now we're going to apply the good stuff. The line metal flake. This is the black iridescent metal flake in the rattle can. This stuff is really awesome. As you can see, I applied the honeycomb graphics on the side, a stencil there. That's also from Line. Woo! Look at that sparkle, baby. I love the different colors in this black iridescent metal flake here. Now we have the flames taped off to get ready to apply our white. So we have some white flames. We are going to apply a pearl over this, over the white. So we're going to have a white pearl flames there. Second coat of white. Now here comes the pearl. I just have it mixed in a clear base coat. Now I'm going to tape off the inside of the flames here, so we just have the rod left exposed. Now we're applying our red base coat on the raised rods. Okay, well there's the final product there. Turned out pretty good, pretty awesome. I love the look of the raised flames. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.